Hi guys, I just wanted to pop in here really quickly and welcome you to my balcony off of my apartment in Philly. But I did just want to give you guys a little bit of a disclaimer in the upcoming video. It is very long. We are going to do a deep dive into this collab line. Also in the background, you're also going to notice that I have a bra hanging from my dresser. Keep in mind you guys are in my bedroom, and I do keep it very casual and real on this channel, so I just wanted to acknowledge, yes, I know it's there. We're girls, we see it. Even if you're a boy watching this channel, I'm sure you've seen it. It is what it is. I see it, I get it. Other than that, guys, enjoy the video, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Oh, and stay tuned at the end. There's some pictures on there of the products kind of up close and personal, just so you guys can see what they look like. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to discuss a very specific beauty line that just launched at Sally Beauty Supply, and the name of this beauty line is called Collab. Now what makes this beauty line different than other beauty lines is that this beauty line was developed by a group of YouTube influencers. So just to go over the list with you of who was involved in this collaboration, we have Raven Elise at Raven Elise. We have Claire Ashley at Claire Ashley Beauty. We have Wesley Benjamin Carter at Wesley Benjamin Carter. We also have Lizzie at What Would Lizzie Do, Ashley Marie at Makeup by Marie. We have Sam at Sam Mage, and we have Danny at Coffee Break with Danny, and we have Alicia at X Sparkage. And I believe that is it for influencers involved in this project. Now, the way that they actually introduce this line to the rest of the world is by basically saying that it's a revolutionary new makeup line that offers very high performance color artistry with like cutting edge textures and finishes. They say that it was developed by this collab community, pushing the limits of color, payoff, blendability. It says, let me just go through really quickly. Yes, working together, we developed Collab to be the line of makeup you always dreamt of. At our Color Lab in New York City, our squad of color-obsessed influencers brought their ideas, inspirations, wish lists, and must-haves. And working together, we developed Collab to be the line of makeup everyone has always dreamed of. So it is my understanding that Sally Beauty actually already had the formulas in play. They already had the formulas developed, that the influencers really did bring their kind of colors, finishes, different texture ideas, and things like that. I know that there was one meeting in New York City with all of the influencers, and then after that everyone kind of went their separate ways, and they were sent samples through the mail, and they got on conference calls, and they talked about different colors and textures and pigments and payoff until they felt like they had the line perfected. You can go online at sallybeautysupply.com and look at all these individual products, and it will state in there like what influencer had what to do with what product. Now, I thought this was an interesting line to take a look at, simply because across the channel, YouTube beauty influencers do have exposure to a lot of products. They do spend their days testing and trying different products to see how different products work so that they can provide that feedback to you, the YouTube community. So listening to their voices as they've had input on a product line is particularly intriguing. It's interesting to see what their preferences through all of this vast experience, what their preferences kind of translate to when it comes to actual product, and then how that product performs. So that's kind of what we're going to do today. I was able to get a hold of a little bit from just about every corner of this line, and I just wanted to go over some of these products with you guys, just show you how they applied on me, give you my personal opinion on them, and then give you my final thoughts on the collection itself. So, without further ado, let's get started. So let's talk about primers. They actually have 4 different primers. They have the standard lineup. So they have a smoothing primer, a hydrating primer, a radiance primer, and a color correcting primer. And you guys know me and my pores that I battle with on the daily. So of course I reached for the smoothing primer. So I love the packaging of this primer. The cost is only $12.99. Initially this primer was okay. It has kind of a moisture-y kind of consistency for a smoothing primer. I really expected it to be a little bit more like dimethicone-y, and it really wasn't. It feels more like the peach line from Too Faced, their matte primer that they launched with that. It feels very similar to that. It feels a little bit smoothing. It dries down very, very quickly. It does leave your skin feeling pretty soft, but as far as overly smoothing my pores, it just didn't impress me. It was just kind of like eh. I definitely have a lot of primers that I've paid, you know, $12 or $14 for, about the same, that work a lot better. Better. So this one for me was just a skip because it's just an average primer. It doesn't really do anything special, and it definitely didn't prolong the wear of my makeup because my foundation came off rather quickly. So overall this was just a dud for me, and I wasn't too impressed with the primer, so this one is a pass for me. So, as far as foundations in this line, they have 2. They have one that is a more luminous finish and one that is more matte finish. Obviously, I picked up the one that is more matte finish. And this foundation is called Meet Your Matte. So Meet Your Matte is supposed to be a medium to full coverage foundation. It claims that it's a soft focus matte finish, that it blurs imperfections, etc. The shade range is not that varied. I will say I had a very hard time picking out my shade range. There are 10 shades to choose from. My problem was like the first 4 light shades are all very light. And then as it moves into the medium to darker skin tones, it's like drastically medium and then darker from there. So there's really no good, if you're a medium to light kind of foundation girl and you tend to land in that medium to light category, you might have a little bit of a struggle finding a good match for yourself. If you tend to either be light or darker medium, then this foundation line will probably provide you with a very good foundation match. I ended up with a foundation that was the lightest of the light medium shades, and it was still too dark for me. I'll go ahead and show you what my application looked like. I did one half of my face with the brush, the other half with the Beauty Blender, and I'll go ahead and show you guys that with some comments here. Hey guys, I just wanted to jump in here really quickly and just kind of go over some things with you. So as you can see, the makeup brush actually was my preferred method of utilizing this foundation. It actually does spread the foundation out quite nicely and blends it in well. The issue that I had, that I noticed upon application, is this Meet Your Matte Velvet Foundation claims to be a go from full coverage, flawless, velvety finish to a finish that you could create as a medium or lightweight finish with just a few drops of your favorite sunscreen or moisturizer. And that is what the website claims. However, I found that just on its own, it wasn't full coverage. It actually was very sheer. If you'll look here right around my jawline, I have quite a bit of texture. I could not get the foundation to cover the hyperpigmentation, any of the blemishes I have on my cheek. I even grabbed my brush thinking it was just the Beauty Blender and tried to correct that around my jawline and wasn't able to correct it. Even with adding just a really additional light layer of product around some areas where I thought I could build it up, I just couldn't get the coverage. And if you'll notice and see how shiny, especially like on my nose, my forehead, there really wasn't anything matte about this foundation. Even after allowing it to dry down and set, it still was a very luminous finish. So overall, upon first application, just really disappointed. Okay, so I personally was very disappointed with this foundation. Because this foundation claims to be a medium to full coverage, I really felt like it was more of a sheer to medium finish. You could still see all of my hyperpigmentation, all of the imperfections that I have kind of bleed through, and I was actually very surprised at how not matte the foundation was. This was not a matte finish for me. It was very shiny. It was not matte at all. They call it a modern matte finish, and I kind of disagree with that. They also said that this formula was incredibly highly pigmented, and I was kind of missing out on that as well. So for me, this just wasn't as high coverage as I like. I didn't find that it was overly buildable, and not only that, it really didn't last throughout the course of the day either. At this point, I'm actually speaking with you guys after a 10-hour day. I still have the full face of makeup on that I put on as I filmed this video for you, except it was way earlier this morning, and this is after all of these hours. So you can see that the foundation is completely gone from around my nose. It's completely gone from basically everywhere. So for me, this was a huge disappointment. I didn't like this foundation at all, and it cost $14.99. I will say this about the packaging. It is a glass bottle, and for a drugstore foundation, it also comes with a pump. So I was really excited when I first saw the packaging and I read about it. I got a little frustrated as I started to find my shade, and then the frustration just kind of increased going forward. So for me, this was a letdown, and this one is probably going to go back to the store. Next, we have the No Flaws Cream Concealer. Now, I had kind of the same issue with the concealer that I did with the foundation. You either have to get a very light shade, or you have to get a really darker shade. There's not really a happy medium. So once again, on the concealer end of things, as far as finding my shade, I was kind of left wanting a little bit. This was $12.99. I just didn't think I found a good shade match for myself. It seems very yellowy orangey for me, a little too tan. If it was more on the peach side, then I would think it would have done a better job at my concealing my under eyes. I will say this, as far as formula is concerned, it is very, very soft, but it doesn't stay very long. It does fade rather quickly. It is a very sheer coverage, so if you're really looking to cover up some under eye circles, this would not be the concealer to reach for, and it does settle into fine lines as the day goes on as well. So for me, for $12.99, this was a skip, and I was really let down by this product as well. So I'm going to just break in and interrupt myself again. The thing about this concealer, guys, is as you can see as I'm trying to pat it in, I really just wiped my finger on the tip of it and was trying to apply it that way because it is very skin toned. It claims that it's full coverage cream concealer that helps to cover under eye circles and uneven skin tone. Unfortunately, even though it claims to be lightweight and full coverage, I really did not feel like this was a full coverage concealer. It is very lightweight, it is very creamy. It didn't do anything really to hide my under eye circles like some other concealers that I have that do an excellent job of that, and I think mainly because it was such a dark color, there really wasn't a brightening effect there. I really did put an effort into blending it in and making sure that there was a seamless transition from concealer to foundation. I just couldn't get it to really brighten my under eye area like I like. And I know that as we're going through this, it really sounds like that this line is just going to be a fail for me, but I promise you there are products in this line that I actually did like. Okay, so I feel like we got through the worst part of this collaboration, and unfortunately, that is the most important part for me when it comes to a beauty line. Primer, foundation, concealer, these for me are the foundation of a good beauty line. And for me, for all three of these to be a miss or something that I'm just not impressed with, or something that I definitely wouldn't recommend that you guys spend your money on, even though all of these things cost less than $15 a piece, and I still say I wouldn't recommend them to you. It really just didn't set me up to be excited about this line. However, I actually did really find some good things. And the first thing that I found that I really, really liked was the eyeshadow palettes. You guys, you know that I'm very critical when it comes to eyeshadow palettes and which ones work, which ones don't work, which ones I think are pigmented and worth the money, and which ones I think are duds. Let me tell you guys about this eyeshadow palette. So this palette is $14.99. It does come in 4 different kind of setups, and the setup that I purchased is called the Best of the Day setup. And of course you guys can tell just by looking at it, that's because it's full of warm tones. Now, the one thing I will say about this palette is it does have this beautiful kind of rubberized matte finish, and I really just love the way that it feels in your hand. These shades are not named, but they are numbered. So on the back, you'll notice that each shade has a corresponding number. So you can refer to them as just shade 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. You do have 8 shades in this palette, so you actually do get a significant amount of product for $14.99. These would be considered like a metallic, whereas this I would think of as more like a shimmer, and these two I would consider to be like slight satins. They are all very, very soft. They are incredibly pigmented, and you guys, the lasting time on these shadows is nuts. So here we are 15 hours later, and look at the pigment that is still on my eyes, guys. Typically this time of night, like I'm in my pajamas getting ready to like wash my face off, I usually have no eyeshadow on my eyes at all. Not only was the blendability and the pigment out of these shadows amazing, but they lasted so long. But I will let you go ahead and look at my application process here, and then I'll be back with some swatches for you guys. Okay guys, so we started with number 8, the very light bone shade, and it is more of a very mild satin. It's very pretty. It has a beautiful, beautiful finish to it. And we just put it all over the place just to lay down a good base for the rest of the color to go on. Now, I will say this about these eyeshadows, guys. They are handpicked by the Collab squad. They have insane color payoff and extraordinary wear throughout the course of the day. And then here I just went in with shade number 4 just to warm up the crease. And again, great, great color payoff. So they are very buttery smooth mattes. They are very velvety satins, and the metallic in this palette is very, very glimmering, incredibly pigmented, blendable textures that really just allow you to create any kind of look that you would enjoy with these eyeshadows. So this is the number 6, and we're just going to press the number 6 shade into the outer V of the eyeshadow look. They blend very well. As you can see, there's no fallout, and they are so pigmented, it's crazy. I actually went in with color number 1 here and wasn't expecting it to be as pigmented as it was. And ended up having to go back in with the first brush and the number 8 shade just to see if we can lighten it and bring that down just a little. I did go back into that number 6 shade just to do it on the very first 1/4 of the eye, and wanted to just darken it up a little bit. And then I went in with number 2 just to pop a little bit of that cranberry in there. You know, it's funny, I kind of wanted to stick my brush in a little bit of all of these colors just because of the performance. Interesting enough, with the metallic, which is the number 3 shade here that I'm actually putting on here, it was stunning, you guys. This is not wet. This is just the shadow on its own. I can't imagine what it looks like with some Fix Plus and a brush. It's probably ridiculous, but it just looks gorgeous, and this color lasted me for over 15 hours and stayed just as vibrant. I did just take a brush and kind of blend that shadow in a little bit, and then here I'm going back in with the number 8 shade and just highlighting right underneath the brow bone just to make the look come together. And then I go underneath my lash line and just smoke it out again with that number 6 shadow and just kind of pull the whole look together. Beautiful, beautiful palette. Alright guys, so let's get into some swatches. So again, these are not named, but they are numbered. So I am going to start in order like this, with this being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So we roll up the swatch arm, and we are going to start with shade number 1. You guys, these really are so pigmented and just so smooth and gorgeous colors. I honestly can't say enough about this palette. And for $14.99, I mean, you guys, seriously, come on. Alright, so that was shade number 2. And now we're going to go into shade number 3. That color, you guys, it's gorgeous. And now shade number 4. So soft, so pigmented, it is ridiculous. Okay, I had to wipe off the fingers, and now we're gonna go into shade number 5. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous brown. And now we're going to go into shade number 6, and I love this rust color. It is beautiful. And then we're going to go into shade number 7. Another beautiful matte brown. And now we're going to go into the highlight which is shade number 8, and I will put that one right here. All right, you guys, so there she is. Isn't that beautiful? So we have matte, matte, metallic, satin, satin, matte, matte, and satin. And guys, oh, just look at those colors. I honestly can't say enough about this eyeshadow palette, you guys. And so this is where I'm at on this. It's kind of frustrating in the same sense because this is a $15 palette. There is currently a palette out there now, like a Gigi Hadid collab. And the makeup in it is, that's a drugstore item. And some of the items in that line are marked up as high as $30 for a drugstore item. This is $15. It's $14.99. And the quality in these eyeshadows, you guys, is stunning for the price. I am like zero tolerance, no excuses for the drugstore guys anymore. If Collab and Sally's Beauty Supply can bring it like this, then you guys need to step up your game. Okay, so let's talk about bronzers. So you guys know I'm a little funny when it comes to bronzers. I have a really hard time when it comes to tone. A lot of bronzers out there have a lot of red in them or a lot of orange in them, or they just look gray, or it looks like you've taken some mud and just smeared it all over your cheek, or it'll totally just blend away into nothingness with no pigment whatsoever. Bronzers are very frustrating for me. So, as in a lot of other aspects of makeup, there are like 3 bronzers that are like my ride or dies, and I don't deviate from them because I'm in love with them and they never let me down. So trying new bronzers is always like something that I feel like is tedious, and I just know it's not going to work, and it's not going to be the right tone, it's not going to be something that I like. The bronzers that the Collab Beauty line is offering come in a little package like this. It's the same kind of black matte outside. It's very soft. It's very, very pretty packaging. I do like the packaging. This is called the Sun Obsession Sculpting Bronzer, and this is in the color Major. There is one other color, and it's called Intoxicating. But again, I got the color Major. Now, this is 0.18 ounces of product, which is actually really a good size pan. And this is $11.99. So this is $12 worth of product. Now, one thing I will say is this is a great bronzer. I actually really did like this bronzer. I'll just swatch it for you. It is so soft in the pan, and the tone is just really, really pretty. I'll actually show you guys me actually putting it on, but it is just this beautiful bronze color that just warms the face up beautifully. It's nice and matte. It does not have any glitter chunks or any unnecessary stuff put into this bronzer. It's just a bronzer, and it works fabulously in my opinion. This was a win for me as well. I'll show you how I applied it here. Alright guys, just really quickly, the one thing I absolutely love about this bronzer is how light it goes on. It's not shocking, so if you would like it to be darker, you can build it. It warms up the face beautifully. It's nice and matte without any unnecessary stuff in there, like sparkle or glitter. And it's just beautiful. Look at that. Beautiful finish. So this was another home run for me, and I really, really love this bronzer. I would definitely recommend it to you guys. And yeah, good job on this one. This one was a hit. Alright guys, so next let's talk about the blushes. So they do have 6 shades of blushes. I got mine in the color Just for Fun. And I will say guys, again, this was another home run for me. It's in the same kind of really pretty packaging. You do get the same weight as the bronzer. You get 0.18 ounces of product, so you do get a really big size pan. Again, it is just a soft, very velvety, very buildable, pigmented blush. Now, it's not so highly pigmented that you have to be really, really careful when you put it on your cheeks. It's very buildable and it gives you a good sheer flush of color, and it allows you to build up to what your preference would be. And I really like that in a blush when it gives me, you know, some working room there, and I don't really have to be afraid of it, and I can kind of go in and it's buildable and it looks really, really nice on the skin. I'll show you guys what that looked like during my application here. So again, guys, this is just a super silky smooth formula. It is featherweight. It does not feel heavy on the skin. It's very buildable and it does look natural on all skin tones. I do feel like the shade range is good and there is something for everyone with the blushes, and these are definitely Erica approved, and I would absolutely recommend these to you guys. And again, these are $11.99. So next, let's talk about the highlighters. Alright guys, so these are called the Filter Highlighting Powder, and this is in the shade Uncensored. They do have 4 additional shades, some that are like rosy tone, neutral tone, a lot more deeper golder toned. This one is just kind of I would say it's a gold tone, but it's the lighter of some of the gold tones that they do have. It is a incredibly soft formula, and you guys, just stunning. And you know, it doesn't have like chunks of glitter to make that highlight, right? So I hate it when you try a highlight and they've actually used like pieces of glitter to get the highlight. That's not what a highlight is about. You can achieve this kind of reflect and this flashback without actually using glitter. Glitter shows texture, especially if you've got some texture on your cheeks that you don't want emphasized. You need a product that just has a beautiful shine on the skin and has a nice glow. This is definitely buildable. You can go in and just do a very soft highlight, or you can really layer it up and go in with something really kind of over the moon dramatic. I love that about this highlighter. It is absolutely stunning, and I will show you how I put it on in this look. So it comes in the same really pretty packaging. You get 0.16 ounces of product in this pan, and it is $12.99. And this is definitely Erica approved. I love this highlight. Okay guys, so we're getting down to the last 2 products in the collection that I tried, and the first one I want to talk with you guys about is the Works Wow Effect All-in-One Mascara. Now, Collab does have several different mascaras. They have some that are specifically for lengthening, they have some that are specifically for volume. You can check out the entire line of mascaras, feel free to do that. I was having a really hard time deciding on which one to try based on the different things that they all did. I was like, do they want to see length? You guys want to see volume? So ultimately, I ended up going with the mascara that said that it was an all-in-one. So the point behind the wow effect is that this is everything. It's volume, it's lengthening, and it is unbelievable false lash effect is the way they spin this mascara. It does have a soft molded brush, so it is like a silicone kind of brush. The brush itself looks like this. I'll show you a picture of it because you won't be able to see the brush in this video without product on it. And it is kind of an interesting looking brush. So again, the all-in-one promises that this is a breakthrough multitasking I have it all brush, that it creates volume, length, definition, and curl for an unbelievable false eyelash effect. They say it's a game-changing formula, easily sweeps through the lashes, providing an all-out traffic-stopping look. This is what the product actually looks like. They've kept with the theme of that matte kind of rubbery feel. I actually really love the packaging. I think this is super cute. I got this in the shade Extreme Black, and this is what the wand looks like. It is kind of funky. It's wide on one side and shorter on the other. And I will let you guys see how I applied my mascara here. Alright guys, so the deal with this mascara, I did have to kind of play with this mascara a little bit, and mostly because of the brush. The brush is very uneven. It's very long on one side, short on the other, so it is got a little bit of a learning curve. As you can see, it deposited a lot of product right there when I first started to apply it. You are supposed to apply it in a zigzag motion while twisting the mascara wand. So once I kind of got used to the wand itself, the application actually went very smooth. It is a very heavy formula. The formula itself is thick, it's heavy, so you know, that's going to kind of be preference on whether or not you like that. It does claim to create dramatic volume, length, clean definition, and curl for a false eyelash effect. It is a very different formula, but it does sweep pretty easily through the lashes, and it does kind of provide an all-out, more glam look, and not necessarily one I would use for like an everyday just natural look. I would definitely use this for like a night out type of look. But as you can see, once I got the hang of it, application was much more easier. I just wanted to hop on here real quick and let you guys know there is a slight learning curve with that wand, but once you get it down, you can get a really pretty look. And I will say this, guys, I have worn this mascara throughout the entire course of the day, and we're going on a very long day at this point, and I still have this mascara on my lashes. I want you to look at two things. One, I want you to look at how curled my lashes still are. This was surprising to me. Number one, because this is a very thick formula, and it's a very heavy formula, so it has some weight to it. So my very first guesstimate was that it was going to fall. It was going to cause my lashes to fall and be more straight, and that I was immediately going to lose my curl within the first 30 minutes of wearing it. And obviously that didn't happen. Second of all, it did darken my lash line to give me a really nice look of volume. So I checked that box off. Third of all, it really is a nice lengthening formula, and I feel like it really did give my lashes some extra length. Now, the problem with lengthening mascaras is that oftentimes as the day progresses, those little fibers on the end of your lashes will crumble, and you'll tend to get some fallout down here on your cheeks and off the lower lashes. You'll notice under here will start to get gray and black, and you'll start to kind of get those raccoon eyes as the day progresses. Neither one of those things happened with this mascara. This mascara is quite possibly one of the best performing mascaras that I have ever used. I love this mascara. And I'm telling you guys, they have like the Insane Length mascara, the Insane Volume mascara, and then they have they call it the Works Wow Effect mascara, which is what this one is. And it comes in 3 colors. There's like 2 different versions of black, and then I think there's a brown one in there, and again I got this in extreme black. But guys, just get this one. The other 2, they're all $12.99, so why not get the one that does it all? And this one really does it all. And you guys, it lasted such a long time. I am thoroughly impressed with this mascara. This was definitely a win, and for the price, I'm telling you guys, drugstores, you guys are going to have to step it up, because Collab is coming for you. They're really cranking out some high-end formulas at some really, really, really cost-efficient prices. Alright guys, and we're down to the last product that I tried from Collab, and that is the Matte Addiction Liquid Lip Color by Collab. I actually got mine in the color Kink. I love the packaging, this kind of black ombre effect. Simple little things with packaging make me happy. Like, for example, as you close this, listen. You hear that click? I love that. That is just like a satisfying click to me. So I know that it's like locked and closed and I can throw it in my purse. I love that. So as far as this being matte, it was incredibly opaque. It's I still have highlighter on the back of my hand. Excuse me while I take that off. Okay. So this is one of those kind of one sweep wonder kind of matte lipsticks. It really does just take one sweep because it's very opaque. Look at that. The color is so thick and pigmented, but it doesn't feel heavy on the lips, and it really does last all day long. You can even see here now, I have brushed my teeth, I've eaten. This has gone through a very torturous 15-hour long day. But even though I've pretty much, taken everything off, it still is like hanging in there around the edges. You see that? Like, I'm even impressed that it's like still hanging in there. But it goes on beautifully. It dries down to a beautiful matte finish. It doesn't get really dry on you throughout the course of the day, where it gets really aggravating as the day goes on because it's so dry. It just has a very nice feel to it. And you guys, for this kind of color payout, you just can't beat it. I am in love with these liquid matte lipsticks. This was $9.99. However, you get 0.21 ounces of product, and for a matte liquid lipstick, that is a lot of product, and it's a very high quality product. Check out the shade range. Their shade range is gorgeous. They have a total of 10 colors. They're beautiful. They range to some really pretty lighter nudes to some darker nudes, reds. They just run the gambit. Overall, the matte liquid lipsticks were a home run for me, and these are absolutely Erica approved. Alright guys, so here we are with the finished look. A couple of things. Obviously you can still see on that side of my face all of the blemishes and hyperpigmentation that the foundation did not cover up. Here at the end of the look, you can see towards the end of my nose the foundation is already starting to come off. Other than that, concealer is not doing anything to cover up my dark circles, but that eyeshadow, that mascara, and that matte lipstick, and the highlight, the blush and bronzer, all fabulous. Love, love, love. Unfortunately, primer, foundation, concealer, not a win. Alright guys, so that was the collection by Collab. Now there are a lot of products still in this collection that I didn't go over and that I didn't touch on. Products that I do want to try by them. I do want to try some of their eyeliners. They do have some brow products that I'd like to try. I'm really upset about the foundation, so I think I'll be skipping out on trying the other foundation they have. I wasn't impressed with their primers, so I am not going to explore the primers any further. I will say with the concealers, they do have some of those clicky pens that are brightening concealers. I am going to try some of those, and I am going to try some of their concealing pots. They have some pots that are more of like that industrial strength type concealer, so I do want to try that. And in addition to that, they also have the the concealer that comes like this with a doe foot applicator, except it's concealer. They also have that kind of a creamy concealer formula as well, and I'm thinking about trying that. My issue with those products in the collab is the tone of the products. You are either very, very light or very, very dark. For us kind of in between girls, there's just not a lot of variation. So if I can find my shade in those additional products, then I definitely would like to explore the concealer line a little bit more. In addition to that, they also have some other types of highlight. They have some liquid highlight powders. They have a matte flat powder that's pressed. They also have a loose powder that's a finishing powder as well. I'm definitely interested in exploring both of those formulas. They also have some cream eyeshadow that comes in the eyeshadow pencils. They call it the Ultimate Eyes Cream Eye Color. I'm interested in trying those out. They also offer Glitter and Go Lip Pigment. Not really sure what that was about, and it looked a little scary to me when I checked it out. So I don't think I'm going to be trying that out, but just so that you guys know about it. They do offer full body lipsticks as well that just come in a regular lipstick tube. They have 16 shades in those. They do offer some tools, and I'll be honest with you guys, they did have some samples of the brushes at Sally's Beauty Supply while I was there. They have a face brush, a eyeshadow blending brush, an angled concealer brush. They have an angled foundation brush, and they also have a precise contouring brush. I did feel them, and honestly guys, as far as synthetics go, they're just not really high quality. The only one that I would recommend to you guys would be the eyeshadow blending brush. Having said that, they also have Shape and Shade brow pencils. They have Glitter and Go eye pigment. I am actually going to try that out. I'm excited to try those out. They also have lip liners. They have the very thin ultra fine brow pencils in addition to the thick ones. And then they also have a pack of makeup wipes, some micellar water, and they also have a primer for your lashes as well. So guys, they launched with a bang. It is a full line of cosmetics for you to try. I definitely recommend that you guys go and explore the line. It is absolutely worth that, especially for the price. Right now, Sally's has a buy two and you get a product for free sale going on. So essentially you could buy 4 products and come home with 6. And the eyeshadow palettes are included in that. Now there are 3 other palettes with different color arrangements. They're all beautiful, but they also offer little trio palettes. If you don't want to spend the $15, I believe they're like $12 and you can just get a trio. I can't speak to the formula of those, but if they're anything like the formula in these, it would definitely be worth it to check those out. So there were a lot of misses, but there were a ton of hits, guys. And to be truthful with you, I do believe that the misses were outweighed by the hits. So overall, I will say that Collab as a beauty line is definitely Erica approved, with the exception of the foundation and the primers. I am going to try some more of their products and continue to explore the line, so stay tuned. We'll definitely have a follow-up video for you guys in the future. Other than that, if you've tried any products, I'd love to hear your feedback, see what you guys have to think about it. Please feel free to put it in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, thanks for stopping by, and as always, I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.